want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
We are the madmen of masculinity.
Your home for healthy masculinity. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
Hey, I am Kirk M. Samuels.
And I am Jason B. Kendrick.
And we are the madmen of masculinity.
That's right. We're just real men having real conversations for you.
And man, I've been chomping at the bit for this one.
Yeah, this one's all
I've
you.
been chomping at the bit for this one.
I got my thoughts, but I'm going to let you lead this
I've been chomping at the bit for this bad boy right here. So, JBK, I got a theory, man. You know, that I got, I'm past 50. And I think over the course of this first half of my life, I've come to the conclusion that there's two things that a man needs to be sure of. That a man needs to have locked down. There's two things. And really, I'm going to say 1A and 1B because they're really kind of related in a way. And I'll get there. But at the same time, I think there's two things. 1A, I think, and again, this is a little word of wisdom here. 1A is being set and secure in what's going to happen the second after your heart starts beating. You better be, whatever that is, you better have that side of you locked down and sure on that. 1B, closely tied to 1A, is you better be sure about the woman that you attach yourself to in your life.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
You best to be sure because, and I think they're related because 1B can completely mess up your 1A if you thought you had 1A down pat, man.
Right.
And dude, I'm telling you, man, I mean, the woman that you attach yourself to will make or break your legacy, will make or break your heart, make or break your bank account, will make or break your peace, will make or break you, period.
Yeah, I mean, and let's go ahead and put the caveat out there. We're not going to be woman bashing this whole episode, but we are talking about maybe a woman. But we are talking about the emasculation of men and a particular man because this poor dude has been getting raked over the coals. I mean, international superstar, movie star. I mean, he's one of those great men who brought himself. I mean, his first album was out when he was like still in high school or right after, and then he had the show. Then he got into movies, and he's still making albums. And I mean, superstar. And what is going on with his girl? I mean, Lord have mercy.
I don't even want to say her name.
I don't even.
I just want to. We're talking about Will Smith, the man,
and you know who she is.
If you unless you under a rock, you kind of know who she is, and you know who he is, of course. And this guy. I mean,
we
probably
call her her.
Yeah, her. She's just her today. I don't even want to say her name. I hate almost even the secondhand publicity that we're gonna be giving her over the next. I mean,
that's why we're not gonna say her name.
We're not gonna say her name, but y'all know who she is. But man, she has emasculated Will. I mean, one of the biggest stars on planet Earth. This guy could go to any continent and he's known.
Yeah. I
mean, this guy is known anywhere and everywhere. From like you said, the time he was in high school all the way up to now, and he's 50-some years old, 51, 52 years old, whatever he is. And unfortunately, we're all partaking in the spectating of watching this man's emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, probably even financial demise. This guy's being completely emasculated, and it's disgusting.
Now, let me ask you something. When you brought this up, I kind of asked it to you, so I'll throw it out to you now. We'll get it on air. But do you think maybe he didn't go along with maybe the Hollywood elites and they're destroying him that way? Or do you think this is all her? Because, I mean, the slap incident and all those things, I've heard her do interviews where she's like, oh, I thought it was a skit. And you watch the video, she didn't think it was a skit. He was laughing, and then he turned to her, saw her face, then he ran up there trying to defend her. I mean, and I'm confused. Like, this dude's $100 million in net wealth, worldwide known. I mean, sure, he doesn't have a problem getting a date if he wants one. Why is he allowing this woman to basically castrate him?
Dude, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I think it's a combination of the Hollywood, what you got to do to pay the price, to be at certain levels in Hollywood. I think it's some of that. I think it's also some of him being somewhat of a undercover nice guy.
Could be.
Like, he just wants to be, he just wants to do the right thing, and he just wants to, make his wife and kids and family. He just wants to please everybody around him. And I don't think, I think part of this that's going on is, quite honestly, it's his fault.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's complicit in all of this stuff that's happening. So to some degree, he's on board with it. I mean, whatever degree that is. But I think it's a combination of a lot of different things as to why he is going along for this ride.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, and I mean, I don't know the behind the scenes, but it seems like he's doing whatever he can to support her. And in some of this, maybe this is his way of supporting her and keeping her name in the people's minds and whatnot, and defending her and feeling. And it seems to me, I mean, just from what I've seen, he has been much more upfront and honorable about his wedding vows than she has. But then now she's saying, I guess none of us knew this, that they've been separated since 2016. So even before all this stuff is going on. So, and she's coming out with a book now. So all I can think is this is a publicity stunt. And it's all about just pushing the book and the publicity of that, so everybody gets the book. But I'm not gonna read it. I don't care.
Let me say right up front, if you go buy this book, you're the problem. Like if you go buy this book, like if you give her $1 of your money, you are the problem. Period. I don't judge many people, right? I mean, I the only two people that I've ever judged in my life is Kim Kardashian and now her. Because I think both of them have a lot of the same character traits in a couple different ways. But either way, if you give her $1 of your money, I got multiple audible.com credits that are still unused. I'd be if I go give one of them credits to her.
Yeah.
She ain't getting none of them, period. Now I got his book when it came out a couple years ago. But man, if you go give $1 of yours to her, you are the biggest fool and you're part of the problem.
Well, and I mean, this is maybe the cherry on top of the feminist narrative that we've been talking about for the last 5 years, that she is part and parcel of all of these ideas and all these actions that these ladies are taking. And, there's no accountability. It's all about the guy. And, whatever they do is, somebody else's fault. And now she's coming out with this book, and the title just makes me cringe too. So I'm just like,
yeah.
It just seems like, okay, they're getting to the top of the mountain of this, toxic feminist narrative. And now they got their queen and they got their book.
And it's disgusting to watch, man. It's like, I'm almost thinking like at some point, and I've seen some of the backlash coming from women these days. I think, on social media, like Jay Shetty, he interviewed her, and people, like, you go in the comments, people are just one after the other. Like, please stop. Like, I'm disappointed in you. Don't even give her, it's disgusting to even have somebody, put interviews of her and make her out to be a victim. Because you're right. It is about, here's how I'm a victim to this. I'm a victim to that. And the only thing she's selling is her attachment to two different men. Mm. That's the only thing she's selling over and over again. And people are like buying this stuff. It is disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad you brought that up about the comments, because I saw that Jay had interviewed her, and I was like, why, first of all, and what are you thinking? I mean, granted, I'm sure it's good ratings for his show because people are going to tune into that car crash, but there's no accountability. Yeah. It's the same thing we're seeing all across the world. And then, but I mean, I know we have to spread this out over a couple sessions, but what is going on with Will, man? I mean, I cannot fathom why he's putting up with this. And yeah, you're probably right. There's probably a lot of nice guy syndrome in there. And I seem to have read somewhere that a lot of big time stars, the drive comes from that lack of worthiness, and they've got to be big. And that's what gives them that drive to get up and try so hard and work so hard and live in their car until they make it and do all those things. So that, I can see some of those layers there, like nice guy syndrome, not feeling worthy enough. And then he gets this woman. He's obviously in love with her. He's been in love with her since they got together. And then she's walking around talking about Tupac and August and all these other people. And it's just like, why is he sticking around? I mean, is he afraid of losing his money? I'm sure he can make more money, but why is he sticking around?
I wonder if he doesn't have a prenup. But at some point, like, seriously, if you got 300-400, I don't know how much he has, but let's say he got 300 million, you can live off 150 million and go make some more, right? Yeah. I mean, he's never going to be broke. He can say, I want to do a movie tomorrow, and he's got 20 mil. He can say, I want to do a new album tomorrow, and he got all that. So he ain't going to be broke, but still, I almost wonder, there's got to be just more to the story. I mean, if you have no idea, if you're living under a rock, her and Tupac Shakur were friends back in high school, back in Baltimore. and apparently they had some kind of supernatural bond or something, I don't know, whatever.
So she says.
And according to her, you know, he was the love of her life, and you only get one of those, and all that. That was way back, you know, way back then. Then she gets married to Will Smith. She's caught out in a lie about Tupac, you know, proposing to her in prison when he couldn't have, based on just timelines and all that other kind of stuff.
And plus, they would have had that recorded if he was calling her from prison.
All of that kind of stuff, man. And, you know, then you got Will Smith's daughter writing a letter to a dead Tupac who she never met, but writing a letter to a dead Tupac saying, will you please come back so my mommy can be happy, which means she only got that from one place.
Yeah.
I mean, then you got the entanglement, you got the red table where you know, and I mean, on and on and on, man. But it comes down to I'm sacrificing him for me.
Yeah.
And from his perspective, it's got to be that he sees like it's his job to just take it and just sacrifice and love her through it and all those kinds of things. And it's sad. It's really, really sad.
Yeah. I mean, this is like all the hallmarks of like a succubus or something.
Yeah.
It's like it seems like she's just trying to suck him dry, and until he's a husk and nothing but dried up bones and, you know, skin, and she won't be happy. I don't understand. And now, of course, what did I say? That now she's saying they've been separated since 2016, and apparently, from what I saw during doing research, now she's saying they're filing for divorce, or she's filing for divorce. It's like, come on, why is it all on her, and what's he doing? And I mean, I got to go back to Will. Like, where's his boundaries? Where's his foundation? Why is he putting up with this? Like, it seems like she's got something on him, and he's just afraid she's going to spill it, so he's taking whatever. I don't know what it is, but
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, if he just came out with whatever it is, everybody would drop it. Like, dude, whatever you got to do to get free from her, we got your back. Like, Will Smith must be safe. I mean, we must like protect him at all costs. Like, somebody needs to get him off the Titanic, put him in one of the life rafts. We need him as far as entertainment, as far as his value to society is I mean, in terms of our even just entertainment consumption is way greater than hers. I mean, she's just disgusting. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's just so ugly to watch. And
well, Valerie's got an idea. She's just popped in. If you're in an abusive marriage, it's called trauma bonded. That's why people stay for years in these types of relationships. Well, wow. I mean, maybe they are trauma bonded, but I mean, at some point, there's got to be enough's enough point.
There's got to be a limit. And you know, you got to be willing to not completely sacrifice yourself for the brokenness of somebody else. I mean, especially when it's repeated and it's over and over again. At some point, I'm not for divorce. I think, you know, man, divorce sucks. I've been there, and don't ever want to go back there again, and all those kinds of things. But man, I'm telling you, at some point, you got to be more important than the sacrifice of you for somebody else. Speaking of sacrifice,
we need to make a sacrifice.
We need to sacrifice a minute here.
All right, let's sacrifice this minute to the gods of the airwaves. And we will be right back. This is the Madmen of Masculinity on KLDC. See you in a minute.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, she's got to be the worst, like, wife for sure on planet Earth.
No,
there's a lot of bad ones.
Public one that we know of.
And that's probably you're right. There's some other ones that have done some killings and all that kind of stuff. And we ain't seen all that. But I mean, publicly, I mean, she's got it. She ranks up. She's on the Mount Rushmore of terrible wives. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, terrible women. I mean, it's disgusting, man. I mean, it's absolutely disgusting. But hey, if you're watching this, man, if you're watching this live or even after the fact, man, we love some comments. Thank you, Valerie, by the way. You see, we got some shine on there. Thank you for your input. If you're watching us, go ahead, type in a comment. JBK will make it famous. We'll put
if this is after the fact, if you're watching us on YouTube after we were live, send us comments. I'll get back to you. We'll let you know. And if you have topics and things in mind, I mean, let us know.
Yeah. Boom. All right. Let's get back into this thing.
That's right.
Hey, we're back.
Yes, we are.
Madmen of Masculinity.
Right here on KLDC.
That's right. And on the interwebs.
Everywhere.
Like, we talking Facebook, we talking YouTube, we talking like podcasts, everywhere. And by the way, we're listener supported. The only support we ask for is you hit the like, subscribe button.
It don't cost you nothing. Hit that little bell icon.
It don't cost you nothing. It's free. We'll take it from there. Hit the like, subscribe. Throw a comment if you want. Let us know what you think. Let us know your thoughts. We're talking about the emasculation of one Willard Smith. junior or the third, or I don't know.
Something like
I think he's junior because his son is Trey.
Right.
I think he's third. But so one of the things, well, man, I'm so mad.
Let's just break it down, because what we want to do is try to put a positive spin on this.
No,
we
we
want to
don't.
just go down the
Not on
negative
her.
rabbit hole. So what can we take away from, and what do we need to look out for as men who get into relationships in like these kinds? I mean, even Valerie said after the fact, if we're all for divorce if it's an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
But if you're stuck in an abusive relationship and people are telling you you're stuck in an abusive relationship, because even to that point of trauma bonding, if you're in an abusive relationship and you can't seem to get out of it, maybe you're trauma bonded, maybe you have been gaslighted, think that's all you're worth. And especially for us guys, I mean, a lot of times we feel like that's our whole job, just to take it.
Yeah.
And it's all about the women and the children and dogs. And so what do we do? What do we take away from when we see these things? Because I mean, we have to be better. We got to learn from others' mistakes. We got to learn from what we see in the media. What can we take away from this to learn from? Because the man is just being, God, emasculated over. I mean, she brought him on her show to talk about her affair.
Yeah, right in front of him.
Right in front of him.
I got you mentioned this in the last segment here, and this word has rattled around in my brain, not only today, but just in the past, about her. And it's a word, a term, a title, a name, whatever you want to call it. The word succubus. It's a mythical female demon who literally sucks men dry.
Using sex.
That's like her anti-power, superpower, whatever you want to call it. It's like I said, it's mythical term or whatever. And I when I look at her and when I see her, I see that. I see a woman who is literally out to just suck a man dry and leave him with absolutely nothing, including his dignity, his hopes, his dreams, his soul identity, his worth, and all those kinds of things, man. And I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna fess up. I've been in that situation. I've been in the situation, and this is a warning to men out there. I mean, this is man space right here, right? So this is a warning to men out there. You got to be careful. These women are out here. These women are out here who seek to just basically they see some kind of light coming from you, and they want to tap into that, and they want to completely suck you dry of everything that you have. And then all of a sudden your identity becomes her identity, and then ultimately, either when she feels like she's done with you, or when you got nothing else to offer, or whatever, then she moves on.
Now, just for you ladies who just said it out loud or thought it, it goes both ways. Yes, there's the incubus. There's the male who does the same thing. But
we know today
we're
is
talking
about
about this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the Healthy Masculinity channel. We're here to talk about healthy men. And when we see this, just complete, outright, and publicized emasculation of a man, it throws up so many red flags. And and I'm very grateful for how many women I've seen out there in comments and on these shows talking about how disgusted they are and how they think it's just a money grab and it's just about publicity for the book. But what is the man doing, and why is he? Maybe it's trauma bonding. Maybe maybe there's something behind the scenes. And that's the other thing too. I'll confess, I don't know. I'm not in their bedroom. I'm not in their house. I don't know the whole story. I mean, maybe this is all contrived just to keep their name in the media, maybe they're whatnot, but it doesn't seem to be going so well for him.
I tell you what, man, these types of situations, and I'm like you said, so we're speaking about this situation, the dynamics here. These types of women, for sure, there's always a shadowy figure from her past that somehow you can never live up to that. That this shadowy figure, this guy from her past, is always looming over your current relationship, and you're always trying to live up and chase that, and a lot of times you get latched on to, I really want to be loved, I really want to be liked, I really want to be worthy of something. And one thing I did get when I did listen to his book is that Will Smith did have a lot of issues growing up from his family dynamic. He had a father wound, a pretty significant father wound. He saw a lot of abuse in his household and all these other kind of things. And so, he was pretty open that he really, 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 that put him in a position to want to be the opposite of that and wants to make all those kinds of things right, which goes back to a lot of the father wounds, and we're not responsible for those and all these other kind of things. But I think a lot of that plays into him just trying to be his anti-father, which doesn't serve us well when we just live life trying to not be something else.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things that happen in our lives, especially our childhood. I mean, the nice guy syndrome, having abusive father or an absentee father or a neglectful father will make you want to be. And I have that same thing where I want, when I have a family, I want to be the best I can be, which is probably why I've waited so long and spent so much time looking, because I'm like, I'm not there yet, or I'm not perfect. And those are things, and even to your point, it can go both ways where, yeah, it's a good motivator, but then you get stuck in that. And if you're like on my side where you're looking for the perfectionist thing, or maybe like on his side where it's like, I've got it, I can't let it go. No matter how bad it gets, I'm going down with the ship. He's like the captain on his Titanic right now, going, we're just, women and children first. We're going down. So I mean, that's what it looks like. And so and I'm always one of those ones like, well, what else could there be there? But it seems so obvious that this is what's happening.
And I totally agree, man. I think he sees himself as the captain of the Titanic. And I think us as guys, that can be a huge downfall for a lot of us, where we think, it's up to me to sacrifice for everybody else's survival and all these other kind of things. And I got to own it. I got to take it regardless of what she does or regardless of what they do. Somehow I got to own this and I got to be all in. And in the end, the story's got to be that he didn't give up and he went down with the ship, and nothing could be further from the truth, man. At some point, we got to step up and we got to take a stand, and we have to be the leader in this situation. Say, you know what? This ain't going to happen anymore. Like, I'm not allowing this anymore. I'm setting direction. I'm setting a heading for us, and this is the direction that we're going in.
Yeah, and people definitely need to heal from their trauma. Thank you, Valerie. But sometimes the best healing comes in a relationship. Mm-hmm. However, in this case, obviously his number one abuser, I'm just speaking my opinion from what I see, but that's what it looks like. Yeah. The number one abuser is in the house.
Yes.
And has probably manipulated the kids. So the kids are probably on board there. And I don't know. Of course, it's also Hollywood. And there's some of the weirdest families in the world come out of Hollywood. So you don't know what kind of influence is there and whatnot, but there's a lot going on there that we need to look at, especially as guys, and take notes from. We need to look at this train wreck and take notes and see what happened, what could have been avoided, what needs to be looked at, what bullet points and notes we need to make for ourselves and put on the mirror. Go, watch out for these red flags, watch out for these actions, watch out for these attitudes. And that's why we do the show, because a lot of our experience comes from the exact same thing, where we didn't see that Mack truck coming. We didn't see the red lights. We didn't see the sirens or the red flags. And then we paid the price for it. And so now we can come back and go, hey, okay, let's pay attention. And when you have something like this, when you have something so publicly publicized, like what's going on with Will and her, this is a great opportunity to take some notes.
Absolutely. To your point, this is Hollywood. We only know what we see. We don't know what we don't see. And a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. A lot of it is about clicks, and it is about, search, ratings and all these other kind of things. It is about publicity. A lot of times when you see stars' names come into the spotlight, shortly thereafter, there's some kind of a movie or some kind of something. And it's like all of a sudden, a lot of those things happen. So yeah, we have no idea all of the details that's going on behind the scenes or what's happening, but we do know what we see. And if nothing else, we can look at this as a case study, a case study for what not to do if you're a man.
Well, and the great point too is, we live in this Western culture of more is better, bigger, better, keep up with the Joneses, bigger house, got to be a millionaire, got to be a movie star. Well, guess what, folks? Their life's no easier. And a lot of times, more money, more problems, because he's got a lot more invested. He's got a lot more with his career and his family and everything else. And it doesn't get any easier. And I don't think, unless he's going to go to rehab and go to some, take 6 months off to go to counseling and do something to really heal himself. I'm worried for the guy. I'm worried for what's the future holds for him.
I'm worried for him too, man. And again, in his book, he did talk about taking some time away. He went down to wherever, South America or somewhere, and did some ayahuasca and all this other kind of stuff. And, and apparently that didn't do it. Apparently I didn't do it, because he still came back and he's still, but I'm telling you, man, and another cautionary tale in all this too is you got to be careful when you live public lives. And we all have these public lives, these public platforms. We call it social media. And so, we've all seen the people that get into the brand new relationship or get into a relationship, and all of a sudden they want to be the next social media darling amongst their social circles. And then next thing you know, ghost, and all of a sudden that didn't work out.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful when you get into these relationships and you want to feed the public engine, with the logs from your fire.
Yeah, I saw a post that was really good, and it resonates with me, and it's something that I think you've done as well. It's like you're publicly in a relationship, but privately having a relationship. So everybody knows you have a relationship, but they don't know what's going on because that's your business, and that's a good way to keep it. I remember, and it chaps me to this day, but I'll never forget. I was living, and this was my my hot young narcissist that I was living with, but we've been living here like 3 months. And all of a sudden she's like, oh, can we put it on Facebook and make it official? And I was like, excuse me, me paying the rent and us living together for 3 months doesn't make it official enough for you? Oh, goodness gracious, no. And I mean, big red flag right there. Like, okay, something to pay attention to. But making sure that your true relationship, what's really going on is between you two. Does not need to be through the whole world or through social media. And that's one of the biggest issues in relationships today. And ladies, it's time to take a little responsibility and a little awareness to realize one of your drugs of choice is attention. For men, it's respect. We want respect. We want to have accolades. We want to get up there to where we feel respected. Ladies, it's attention. And when you're always on social media, you're poking holes in your relationship. And you can only poke so many holes in that chip or in that bag or whatever you want to, whatever's holding that the love liquid in, and before it just disappears or pops. So make sure you're aware of that, because if you go back 30 years, we didn't have social media, and it was much easier to stay in a relationship and to be happier in a relationship because you didn't have all this outside influence. And all these outside influences, especially living a public life like that, somebody's always got something to say, and usually it's not positive.
We haven't kept it a secret here that I'm about to get married pretty soon, and I am happy that she is not a social media person in terms of out there doing all that kind of stuff. And we are determined. You won't see the. You won't see the.
He didn't invite me to the wedding. I can't even go.
No, ain't nobody coming to the wedding but two of us. And so, but you won't be seeing all that, because I don't want people all up. And a lot of times, man, the people that be all up in your timeline and your feed, they're not really, they're not really
your best interest at heart.
They're not, man. And so you talk about men wanting respect, and women wanting to, commonly you talk about one of the drugs of choices, the love and all that kind of stuff. What is that button called at the bottom of that post of yours when people actually want to give you some affirmation? It's the like button. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you can make it a love button or whatever you want to call it. But there's no button that says respect. So that social media thing is not necessarily men driven in terms of, that feedback. And so, you got to be careful about all that stuff that you put out there for public consumption, because everybody is going to be all up in your business, and it's good when it's good, but it's bad when it's bad. Speaking of bad,
it's bad.
Well, it ain't necessarily bad, man. We got to show some love, some of our sponsors, what's going on around here and all that kind of stuff. We'll be right back. Madmen and Masculinity, KLDC. Boom. Valerie, you are on it, girl.
Thank you, girl.
Man.
We haven't had a good commenter in a while.
I
appreciate you.
You about to be our number one fan. You keep this up. We about to put your picture like over one of our shoulders up here. You're going to keep flashing your comments on the screen and all that kind of stuff, man. We appreciate that. We love it.
Mugshot right over our shoulder.
Loving it.
Be famous or infamous.
But matter of fact, my girl, and I'm always call her my girl, by the way.
My girl.
She's watching, but she ain't even comment. But that's all right. We still love her.
Well, see, that's good.
She reminds me.
Put the business all out in public.
Business out there. She always reminds me that she's the number one fan. And I'm like,
keep it to yourself.
All right.
Yes, we are back.
Yep.
This is the Madmen Show,
mm-hmm.
And we're talking about emasculation of the one, the only Mr. Will Smith.
It's and it just hurts.
Oh.
So here's the deal. A whole lot of confessions today. For a lot of my life, Tom Cruise was my favorite actor, mainly because of Top Gun.
Yeah,
right. And then Tom Cruise started to get weird, and he started every movie is about him saving the world, and it's like, come on, man, can we just get back to? And so, oh boy, and so then don't do it, don't do it, and so see, that's why you got to keep your mouth shut. You got to keep your mouth shut. Anyhow. I started to kind of fade away. I started to fall back from Tom Cruise, and I made a decision that Will Smith was my favorite actor. And I'm going to say he still is my favorite actor. I mean, I'm not going to kick him to the curb like that. I'm loyal. He still is my favorite actor. And so, man, I grew up with his music, man. We both, I grew up from the East Coast too, and just all that kind of stuff, man. I get a lot of the things that he went through when he was young and all those kinds of things, man. He's still my favorite actor. So it really hurts me to see this guy take the L like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another great man being torn to shreds, and it's painful. I mean, how many of us, I mean, let's be honest, how many of us have what it takes to work like that and to get, to be, first of all, a successful rap star, and then a successful sitcom star, TV star, and then to get into movies and do all of these things and be so successful, not just for a couple of years, but for like 20 years, 20, 30 years. And then to have, I mean, you're never safe, gentlemen. You're never safe. I mean, I love Bill Burr's take on, Arnold Schwarzenegger and all these other great men are just getting cut in half. And that's one of the things I don't understand. I mean, I get it. It's legal because that's how the legal system is set up. But why do all these ladies, for the most part, feel like, it's mine, half? You could have your own house and, she comes in, and granted, that's how, she's the one that makes it a home. So she takes some ownership. But why does her making it a home all of a sudden become, now it's her house and you got to give that to her when you leave? Like,
it's disgusting to me to watch her. Now, I mean, and if we're real, I mean, forget the whole, she's a human being and she does not have the star power that he has, never has, and never will. She's been, she's in a couple sitcoms, couple TV series, couple movies, all that kind of stuff. But she will never, ever, 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 ever get to the point of him where he is. Same thing can be said with even, the real love of her life, which is Tupac. Never, ever, ever could she be up to that level. But the fact that she's willing to cannibalize them, their name, their identity for her own escalation of life, it's selling books. Yeah. I mean, you're not even going to make $100 million on this thing. Like, you're talking, a few $1 million. I mean, tops. And do they really need a few $1 million? I mean, I don't get it.
Let me ask you this. Do you think it's generational? Because you look at like Red Table Talks and she's got her mom in there.
Yeah.
I don't remember if her grandma was in there or not, but I know her mom and her daughter are in there. And ladies, sometime y'all shouldn't get in big groups together.
Yeah.
Because you get on that, whatever it is, and the house burns down. Because wow. But I'm wondering if that may be a thing. Maybe like they just kind of gas each other up.
And a lot of that stuff is generational, man. I'm funny you say that because I've noticed this trend or pattern as well in our society today. A lot of women who have gone through divorce have turned their hatred for the man, have kind of passed that down to kids, specifically daughters. So you have a lot of daughters who, and this is not all, whatever. You can hate me if you want. I don't care. I don't need none of y'all. I got everything I need. I got friends. I got a woman. Blah blah blah.
Finish things.
Point is, there's a lot of kids who, and especially a lot of girls that are growing up now to be women who are having a hard time with relationships with males because a lot of the anguish that the mom had towards dad got passed down to the daughter. And I'm seeing it. So to your point, I do think it's generational.
Well, even in my experience, I mean, I love my mother to death. I know she did the best she could, but I mean, when my parents split or moved out or whatever, I was 6, 7 years old. And in her pain, she made some comments that I still remember today, and so it's like, you have to sometimes be very careful what you're spreading and then maybe have some conversations and explain, I'm a human, I'm hurt, and that's not really what it is. But just look out in the world today, the state of things. There's a lot of lack of responsibility, a lot of lack of like reality, and we're not having the long-term relationships, the family units, the communities that we used to have. And I'm not saying it was better in the past, but we definitely had stronger family units. And the more we get social media, the more we get into the digital age and the information age. I mean, the information's out there, folks. Being uninformed is basically a choice. The problem is most of the information we get here in the West is entertainment. And look, we're talking about it right now. We're talking about somebody else's relationship because they're stars and because it triggers us in some way. But at least we're attempting to take some golden nuggets out of this and make it a positive thing, because I feel for the man. I wish he didn't have to be drugged through mud, especially so publicly, and have all of us look at him like, damn, dude. But that's the way of the world. So sometimes you got to take it where you can get it. But you look at other countries, their social media is more about education. It's more about fulfillment. It's more about learning things. So you have the opportunity to change the channel.
I think this is a great opportunity for women.
Yeah.
I think it's a great opportunity for women to say, that's not us. And maybe because, you know, that whole red pill movement that's out there, it's really aimed at this woman. It's really aimed at women like her, not aimed at all of you all, but you all are getting collateral damage because of the reputation of women that's being made by her.
Yeah, I get so upset about, we're talking about such a small percentage of the population. And we get out in the world and we see all these good women who are getting a bad reputation because they're quiet. They're not speaking up. They're not talking about it. But there's, and I mean, it's the same for guys. There's a small part, you know, percentage of the population that is the 1%ers that all girls want. And then there's a small percentage of that population that's evil and bad and whatever. And those are ones that get the attention. Yeah. But there's a whole quiet majority of us that are much better, that are much more healthy. And I think it's time for us to start, you know, spreading that word.
I think, but I'm specific here in talking to women that this is the prime opportunity for you all to denounce that type of behavior, because you all are not like that.
Yeah,
and so many of you do get, I mean, just a bad rap because of women like this. I loved reading comments from men and a lot of women publicly on social media just saying enough of her. Like, we're done with her. And I think for women to step forward and to say that, yeah, it is public versus private. I love Gail's comment. It is public versus private, and it is out there. And now that it's out there, this is an opportunity for women to take a stand for womanhood and to say, this is not who we are. This is not who we want to be. That does not represent us. Because otherwise, I mean, with that silence, it comes across as men as you all sign on for that. Like, yeah, oh, you know, oh, that's a good thing. And so this is a prime opportunity for women to denounce that. It's a prime opportunity for women to say, no, this is how we are supposed to be. It's a prime opportunity for moms to show their daughters what it looks like to be in a good relationship with a man. If the daughter has a broken relationship with her dad, then show her how you can be in a good relationship with a man that can come into your life.
Yeah.
Let them know what that stuff looks like. But this is a great opportunity for women to denounce activity that is contrary to what you all really are on a mass scale.
Yeah, and I don't know about his friends group, but this is a perfect opportunity for him to be surrounded by his guys and to have some, you know, healthy guy time and to have some support. Granted, maybe because of the slap, he lost a lot of those friends. And I saw a lot of them calling him all kinds of names about it, but the dude was obviously hurting then, and he's obviously hurting now. And it comes right back to, as simple as it sounds, hurt people hurt people. Yeah. So the man's obviously hurting, and he needs a group of guys, strong men around him. Maybe he needs some more faith. Maybe he needs some counseling. I mean, he probably needs a lot of counseling, and maybe he needs to head back down for some more ayahuasca and more journeys or something. But, you know, all of these things it's not a one-hit fix. It's not a one-hit wonder. Everything needs to be a daily practice. You know, you need to meditate and pray every day. You need to hit the gym as much as you can. You need to be as healthy as you can. And we get it. It's hard. I mean, we just did the reaction video to Dax. That video, that song talks about how it feels to be a man in our society today. It's not an easy road. It's not easy to be out there, but you need a group of guys around you. And, you know, I would love to see women even denouncing her and promoting healthy masculinity and having guys support him. You know, you ladies need each other. We need you to be healthy. You need us to be healthy. And right now, the social norm and the blanket statement out there is that none of us are healthy, because you see it out what's being publicized. But those of us who are, or who at least are attempting to be as healthy as we can be, are kind of the silent majority. And we need to start being louder and talking more about that.
Yeah, this is an example of a toxic woman. You know, after the Oscar slap, it was great to see Denzel Washington come up and, you know, talk to him afterwards, and they had that whole conversation. And, you know, and if you look at like Denzel and Pauletta Washington, you know, they have been to get married for a super long time. If you were next to Pauletta Washington in a grocery store, you would never know it.
I didn't even know her first name.
You would never know it. I mean, period. I mean, and so there's power in that. I mean, and I loved him getting the support in that Oscar moment. But at the same time, he's not even allowed back at the Oscars for 10 years because of that. And they weren't even married. Yeah. They weren't even together when he did that. I mean, this is some ugly, like, disgusting stuff. And to your point, man, having men. I hope there's men in his life because I am kind of scared for the guy. If he's out there on the island alone, I'm scared for him.
Yeah, I mean, I assume I'm hoping he has real, genuine people around him, not the yes men and all the people that come with fame, because I think that's what can really happen to a lot of celebrities when they get out off on the island or they get into one of these hot spots, and all they have around them are the yes men who tend to disappear when the money goes away or the fame goes away or something like this happens. And I'm wondering how many people. I mean, you see the pullback, you see how everybody's just like, oh, stay away from him. I don't want to be associated with him.
Yeah.
You know, we, especially as guys, if this is somebody you respect, or this is your boy, we need to step up and not be afraid to be associated with somebody in pain, not be afraid to be associated with trauma, because like you were talking about, when Denzel stepped up and said, you know, gave him a little pep talk like a man to man, that's what we need, especially in those moments. But we're not seeing that. What we're seeing is, oh, I don't want to be associated with A, B, and C. What we need to be doing is associating with that to heal that, because anything that it gets left untouched, untalked about, unspoken of becomes worse. And all this disassociation, and that's one of the biggest issues with men today, is disassociation from their pains, their traumas, their families, their work. I mean, everything within their lives, instead of going, I need to deal with this. I need to look at this. I need to judge it and heal it and make, you know, something better out of this. But when everybody disassociates, it's really easy just to go, all right, well, they don't love me. I don't love y'all. I'm out.
And when we are as guys, when we see other guys going through stuff, we do have to be proactive to reach out. Because most time guys are not going to reach out when they're hurting. And so this is one of those opportunities. If you see a guy in your life going through some kind of divorce or going through some kind of hardship or something like that, it is up to us to reach out to that guy. And if nothing else, say, hey, man, I'm still with you. I got your back. If you need to talk, I'm here. Something along those lines, because this is a prime example. A lot of us have known, do know, or will know a guy in our circle that's going through something. And a lot of times that guy will get quiet, and we got to be the ones to reach out and to put out a fist or a fist bump or something like that to a dude that we know going through something, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about just a little bit of attention, just a little bit of reach out, just let him know. And granted, most of the time, and you got to know this too, if you're reaching out to a dude and you know he's going through something, you're gonna be like, how you doing?
Right.
I'm fine.
Right. I'm good.
How are you really?
Right.
Like, no, talk to me. I know where this is at. So you know, we gotta make that more of a norm. And you know what we need to make normal right now, though.
Let's norm us up a break.
Norm that break.
We're gonna norm. Let's call the break norm.
Break norm. Hey Norm.
All right, we'll be right. Madmen, Masculinity, KLDC. Boom. Man, I'm telling you, the ladies are on fire tonight, man. We loving the comments. What's happening, Gail? We loving the comments, man. This is it, man. This is great conversation, man. This is great topics, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, make sure you guys go out there and comment on there about how she's canceled.
Yeah,
Cancel her.
For real. Tell your friends, tell your mama and them, tell everybody that ain't who we are. And yeah, we need, and do not give her, I don't care if it's 99 cents when it comes out. Do not daggone buy that book.
No.
Whatever you do not buy that book. You don't even need to buy the book because she's telling you everything that's in the
penny
book.
Party.
First
be
of
like,
all,
it's all everybody.
I
else's
mean,
fault.
if you buy that book, man, that's supporting. Yeah, you don't want to. You just don't want to do
We
that.
ain't gonna go there.
I'm judging you if you buy that book. You need to be brought somewhere for some therapy or some discipline or something like that, man. Do not buy that book because that's don't buy that book because that's not who you are, and you don't want to support women being how you all don't want to be portrayed because you're not.
It's like watching a car wreck. You don't need to slow down. Just drive on by.
Don't throw fuel on that fire because it'll only get worse. All right, here we go. Let's finish your statement. We're back.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Madmen and Masculinity.
Right here on KLDC.
Hey, check us out on madmenradio.com. I mean, hook us up on, Facebook, YouTube, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
man.
if you go on Spotify and you're looking for us, it's Madmen Radio. I had to correct that. I know we go out as Madmen and Masculinity on a lot of this, and I tried to shorten it up because masculinity is a long word.
It is a long word.
So it's Madmen Radio on Spotify.
And some of us went to public school.
Yeah, we like to keep it short.
When you got to
I still count my fingers.
You got to spell out the words and all that kind of stuff, man. I got, yet another confession. After the Oscar slap, I made a concerted effort not to click on anything that said Will Smith because I was just so heartbroken with him. Like, man, how you gonna go up on the stage and slap a man? How you as a black man will go up on the stage and slap another black man who's hosting the Oscars in front of the entire world and embarrass one and take shine away from from a group that actually won the Oscar that was being presented. You know, like how do you, you know, I mean, that was just bad. And I gotta admit, man, that I kicked him to the curb, but now I've come full circle. I'm seeing that this guy is under the spell of a demon, and he's trapped, and he's stuck, and he can't get out. And I mean that wholeheartedly. He's under the spell of a demon. If you saw her face when she was describing to Hoda Kotb on the Today, if you saw her face talking about them being separated, she was smiling. I mean, with the entanglement thing, when she was dismantling him, then she was smiling. This woman takes pleasure at dismantling the husband that she's been with for however many years, the father of her kids. She takes pleasure in destroying everything that he is. And it's terrible. This man is under the spell of a demon, and Will Smith, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and it sounds like narcissistic personality disorder. And if you've ever dealt with a narcissist, it's very much like that. They're never wrong. It's all about you, and they want everything you have.
Yeah.
I know I had my little episode, and thank God it only lasted like a year and a half. But yeah, it was like I was on stage talking. Why can't I be on stage talking?
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to move back to Colorado. Yeah, take me to Colorado. And I'm like, whoa. I don't need two dependents. Like, I just saying. So yeah, I mean, it's true. These are just human beings doing their thing, but they're doing it in public. And I don't know his side of it because he's not really being that public about it, but I definitely know her side about it.
Yeah.
She's definitely talking all about it, put all their stuff out in the streets. And it's just not a good look. I don't know whose idea this was. And I mean, she's definitely getting more publicity and more attention from it. So maybe that's the whole point. But why has it got to be so evil? Why has it got to be so backstabbing? Well, I mean, this is a father of your kids. This is a man that put you on. I mean, I guarantee you she would have had a career of her own, but it wouldn't have been the career she had because, I mean, he paved that way. Yeah. He bought the house, whatever. I mean, but why has it got to be so evil? Why is it, ladies, when it comes to the end, there's no amicability, there's so much, animosity and just.
She would have been probably a B-list name in Hollywood, if that. I mean, without him, without the Will and her. Like, I mean, she would be probably a nobody based on her career. She hasn't done anything big, really, in her life, especially anything in the last, 10 years or something like that. Who knows when the last time she's actually had her name scrolled on the screen somewhere. And so, the fact that she is willing to, like I said, cannibalize and use this man. And so it is a cautionary tale to men. Like, be careful, men. I mean, we're talking about the emasculation of Will Smith. We're not even saying her name. Be careful, men, because these women are out there. They will literally suck the life out of you like the demon succubus they are. I mean, they will, whatever it is that they see that you have to offer, I'm telling you, they will come along with some shadowy other guy in their past that you can never live up to. And you want to be the nice guy and you think you can save her from this lost thing that she's had. No, you can't. Yeah, you can't. She's a demon.
Yeah, you nice guys out there are suffering, Captain Sava, what syndrome as well, and you're dealing with what's known as alpha widows. There's some guy in her past that she got with and thought that was the one, and he didn't think the same. So now she's going to critique you under the guise of who he was or what she thought he was, or and it's just not reality. And so you have to have boundaries. And ladies, I know you get gassed up and you hear all the stuff about he needs to do everything for you and be a princess. You want a guy with boundaries. You want a guy who will tell you no. You want a guy who's going to say, hey, this is as far as we're going with that. And that's how you can have a healthy relationship, because we need each other. Ladies, we need you to respect us, and you need us to keep you from going way off the deep end. And if you're honest, there's those times a month where you're like, I need a padded room. I need somebody to hold the door, like act like a goalie. And that's why we need each other. But when we see examples like this, it just makes us crazy because it feels like, and maybe it's just the rising tide is raising all ships. So we're seeing more of the crazy coming up as we're trying to get healthier and get better as people in a nation and a country. But it's aggravating, and it brings the bile up in my throat when I see these things. It's like, this is somebody who worked his butt off and now is just being torn down. And I mean, as much as I hate to do it, I always have to come back to him. Like, why are you still there? Why are you putting up with this? What happened to your boundaries? And maybe it has to do with his past trauma. Maybe it has to do with his childhood trauma and nice guy syndrome and not feeling enough. But at some point, somebody's got to grab the man and go, dude, wake up.
Yeah. Ladies, you are not her. Like most of you by far.
Thank God.
By far, most of you are just, amazing human beings. Radiant, feminine women who just love life. And just the reason why men go to war. So on and so forth. Most of y'all by far are absolutely amazing. It's these types of women who steal the spotlight, who suck the life out of womanhood, quite honestly, and who take over the narrative. They take over the airplane, they hijack it, and they crash it into a mountain. And so, ladies, unfortunately, these are the type of women that give you all a bad name or a bad rap. And I hope that you all begin to take a stand against women like this, because you all don't deserve to be lumped in with her in this kind of manner. And it's sad and it's unfortunate. And so again, I do hope that you all step up in those kind of ways. And for sure, guys, like, no, we're not meant for this. Like, this ain't who we're supposed to be in a relationship.
Yeah, no, it's time for us as men and women, especially as the healthy, majority, to start linking arms and start talking about things. Because even from a guy's perspective, when we see this, it makes us even more gun shy. If you don't talk about the court system and the marriage system and how that makes us gun shy from relationships and marriage, then we see this adds more fuel to that fire. So we need the healthy women, good women out there to say, hey, that's not us. We're better than that, and not keep adding fuel to this crazy bonfire, this Tower of Babel craziness is going on, because it makes it hard as it is normally to have a relationship. It makes it even harder to even try to want to get out and do a relationship, because this is what we see. This is what we see portrayed out in the media. And we wonder why people are just staying home and isolating and not getting out there and trying to have a family, trying to have a community. So this is, one more time, I think it's divide and conquer tactics. It's ways for them to keep us separated, keep us talking about things, keep us distracted. But I know for the majority of us, we're a lot better than what we see out there. And it's time for us to get loud and get proud and start talking about these things openly, so that we can find each other. The healthy people can find each other and start building a healthy community, healthy families, a healthy nation.
Most of us are good people. Most people are
who have
good
bad
people.
moments.
Yeah, exactly. Most of us at our core are good people. Most of us, men are not, the lying, cheating, stealing, abusive. Most men are not. I know so many guys who would love a good woman to honor, to support, to serve, to love, be faithful to, all these other kind of things. I know a lot of good women who are looking for and want the same exact things in a man and with a man and for a man. And so most of us are good people. These are the outlier, the examples. Hollywood is not, the standard by far. Hollywood is a disgusting place, and a lot of things that come out of that culture really contaminates the rest of our day-to-day lives. And so this is kind of a cautionary tale on both sides, I think, from men, from women. There's so much for us to learn. It's a case study. Because it's Hollywood, it's all fake. None of it is real. We're talking, problems that multi-millionaires have that none of us do, or very few of us do. And so, this is a case study for us to learn a lot about ourselves and a lot about each other.
Yeah, you know what? I think I've learned it after tonight.
What?
I think it's time for us to say good night, y'all, because I need to go wash my hands and get some mouthwash.
Do you feel dirty?
I feel dirty.
Do you feel dirty from all this?
Dirty about all this to do.
It does. It makes you feel disgusting. It kind of makes you feel disgusting, man. And it infuriates you, and it just kind of gets you to the point where you just want to say,
I need a bath.
You just want a bath. It's just something, man. It's sad. It's sad to watch, man. And again, you got kids involved. Their kids got to sit by and watch all this.
Well, and it's sad. We got us talking about it.
Yeah.
We're trying to do good things in the world. We're talking about this mess.
But I think this is good, though. This is good for us to talk about, to put this stuff out. Everybody else is talking about it.
Yeah. Well,
it's the most searched thing going on these days, the most watched videos out there. So why not talk about it? I think we have a unique take. Obviously, this is all about opinions. Your opinion, my opinion, our opinion. It's an opinion show.
Yes.
Sometimes we have expert opinions on here, but most of it is just our experience.
Our knucklehead opinions.
But it is what it is. We've lived long. We got enough growth rings.
Yeah.
On our tree. So
we got 98 years worth of experience now, something like that, together.
Yeah, you just had a birthday, man.
Man,
how you feel?
I feel
See?
I feel like I had a birthday recently.
Feel like you had a birthday? You know, you was helping me move pretty good. You was lifting some stuff.
One more time around the sun.
JBK, man, talk about good friends. I know we're about to get out of here. Talk about good friends. Let me give this guy flowers while he could smell them. I moved yesterday, or we moved. First one to show up, the last one to leave. These are the kind of people you want to have in your life. And, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent. He's a knucklehead. I'm a knucklehead. All those other kind of things, you know, but these are the kind of people you want to have in your life. So if nothing else, man, friendship is essential to the soul. You want to have good friends in your life that you can talk about things with, that you can support each other, that, I mean, all these other kind of things. And so, so man, you know, thank you and happy belated birthday.
Thank you very much. I hope that made up for the 3 times you helped me move. So now
I wasn't going to bring that up, but since you did,
hey,
since you did
hey,
3 times in 3 years, you need to stop moving.
all right, fine.
Anyhow.
I need to find me a woman to settle some roots or something. I don't know.
Ooh, see, ladies, there's good men out here. There's good men out here looking for you. But, you know, we just let's get it
You gotta
together.
stop watching the news.
Stop,
You
man.
gotta stop watching TV.
Stop watching the news, man. So anyhow, we took a little
Tangent, little sidebar.
tangent,
All right, we're gonna tangent our behinds out of here.
That's right.
Thank you. We love y'all. Join the Madmen Mafia. Make sure you like and subscribe. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, many other streaming platforms. And until next time, Madmen out.